And we're back?
Yeah,
we're back. We're back.
We're back.
Yay.
With best style. Best style?
Best style.
I mean, it's usually best style.
I mean, you get to put your style on it, which is...
I like to style on it.
But I feel like it's also just becoming best style at some point. Kind of. I guess that's a roundabout way of saying I barely know what this category is at this point.
It's best style.
There you go.
It's something
That's
you can't put into words, so we're just going to do interpretive dance to figure out the winner.
That's right.
It's like coolest game.
It's like when everything comes together.
Yeah.
The whole presentation.
It's like when a game's got a
style.
when a game's got a swagger to it.
It's got a thing going on.
It doesn't have to
There
have
you
the
go.
best music. It doesn't have to have the best looking
right.
graphics.
That's
but
right.
It's
got a
the
little
best
something.
style. It's got that
Cohesion.
swagger. Yeah.
Is the music kind of, is that cohesive with the style? Or
It can be, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
It should all gel together.
Yeah.
You'll know it when you see it.
I will. Oh wait, you haven't read them yet.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to read what's on the screen.
I was like ready to start cutting stuff.
All right. Sexy Brutal, Hollow Knight, Persona 5, Arms, Nier Automata, Cuphead, Heat Signature, Yakuza 0, Splatoon 2, Absolver, Ruiner, Observer, Kingsway, Pyre, Tokyo 42, Night in the Woods, High Hell, Echo, Dream Daddy, The Shrouded Isle, and Subsurface Circular.
Good.
There's
one more on the
Another
list.
one there.
You need to scroll a little bit.
No,
Yeah.
actually, there's not.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Drawn
to Death is not on this list.
Oh. Question. Should Wolfenstein 2 be on this list?
No.
I don't know.
Like some of the
Man,
designs
they
are...
make killing Nazis really fun with
I-
all the fucking tracks.
If we're talking about cohesive style of a game,
Yeah.
then the end credits like
Hey,
butcher a lot of what that
have
game
a
has
point
going
there.
for it.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
okay.
that's fair.
There are some cool stylistic touches in that game for sure.
Yes.
Like when I think back to that, if it's like Doom had style.
Yes.
You know, like had a was it out there with a purpose.
Yes.
Like Wolfenstein definitely is trying, but like
A little more middle of the road.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I really like the look of Hollow Knight, but I know a lot of folks don't. So I'm guessing that probably won't make top 3. I'd be fine to lose that.
Yeah, it's got a really great moody atmosphere
Yes,
to
and
it.
I like it a lot. I like living in that world. It feels very cohesive.
Yes.
I don't think it looks flash gamey. I like the little bug look, but I also appreciate maybe not for everybody.
I totally agree with
Is
you.
that thing a bug?
Yeah,
It's all bugs.
Oh, I thought it was like a rabbit or something.
Everything's bugs.
He's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
I think it's like
never,
a beetle.
Yeah, I never really put together what the lead character was, I guess.
No,
But like
they're
all
bugs.
the enemies are bugs, and so that kind of threw me off. It's like, what's this little rabbit mask thing? And why are all these bugs here?
He's a bug knight.
I figured he was like a little beetle dude.
yeah.
I really like the attitude and aesthetic of Drawn to Death. The sense of humor. I thought
I mean,
was
that's
really
number
good.
Oh,
one.
yeah, what
We
do you
don't
like
really
about
need
it?
to discuss
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah, we're trying to get
cool.
the other two.
It's really
Dan.
cool and smart. Okay, that's the lock already.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, that's bold. I see. Okay.
I think Arms can go. I think it's a neat thing.
I like that
But,
song.
like in
I
terms
like
of
the
style.
look.
I
like
think
that
the
their
style
first-
is good.
Yeah, I do too. Those characters are cool.
The first DLC character is the old, washed-up champion, and his arms are made out of the championship belts that he has won throughout his career.
Is he like a Mickey Rourke character?
I don't think he has that level of I don't think he's cutting himself.
He's not running around with a parrot on his shoulder or anything, but yeah, no, I think the character design is really the thing that stands out most in that game, and it's worth noting. But I think there are much stronger games on this list.
Yeah, totally.
We can cut heat signature. I'm trying to find a category where heat signature makes sense because I like it quite a lot, but it's
Oh, I see. This is the gunpoint rope-a-dope.
yeah, exactly. I like the way it looks because it doesn't look great and it fits into this it's got an aesthetic, an old game aesthetic in this weird way that I appreciate, and its sense of scale is cool, but it's not here.
Remind you of stuff like Subspace,
Yeah.
like old 90s overhead games that are a little janky looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I got from it, too.
So I know we're going in the parsing down stuff, so this one might not be parsed so quickly, but I found a lot of Nier to not look great. There were definitely some parts that were like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, or there's that beautiful boss robot, and that's cool. But a lot of that game I think is pretty ugly and very video gamey in not a great way.
I hate that game. Oh,
I don't
hurts.
I
mean,
hate it, but
here's the thing. I don't know that I necessarily cut it right now, but the question of whether it beats, the 3 of the strongest games on this list, I'm not sure. I think that, for its very muddy looking visuals, which no one will deny, they do a lot with it, and a big part of that is just sort of the aesthetic and style of the game that sort of carries that through. Like, I like the core, like, Yorha design.
Yeah.
I like the weird, junky androids that are sort of, the resistance that are living on Earth and obviously are part of a lower class that do not get as much attention as the Yorha bots. And I like the machines, like the weird, round, sort of cute but rusted over look of them. I think is very
cool.
cool.
The robots do it.
That's also great.
I like the style of the hacking, but
like the menus, overall.
But honestly, it feels just like short of a cohesion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is like I'm. It's not one that I'm going to plant a flag down and say this has to be on here. I think it is. It makes a strong showing because of its style.
I almost wish I'd mentioned this for a moment, but also kind of hear that some of the like really creepy sort of fascist undertones you get out of Yorha like really culminates at the beginning of Route C when they all don like literal stormtrooper gear.
Yes.
It's just like, fuck, all right, the mask is off.
It's one of the more meaningful costume changes that I've seen in a game in a
holy
while.
shit, man, this just got real.
Do we know why they wear the blindfolds?
There's a heads-up
visors.
display.
Yeah, we refer to them as visors. I think.
You saw how ugly the environments are. You don't want
What they're saying is what they are
Jason
seeing.
just killed it.
Yep, that game is dead. Go back and cut it from every other category too.
That heads-up display makes it look more like Persona 5.
That's funny.
I think we can cut
Okay, that's fine.
here.
Yeah.
There are games I would definitely fight harder for on this list.
That's pretty good.
I think we can cut Kingsway.
Oh man, I was just about to say I feel like Kingsway is a good strong contender.
Never mind.
I don't, you already said it.
I mean, I don't know if it hangs, but they really do get clever with a lot of their like UI tricks.
Yeah,
like,
it's neat.
Aren't I was thinking of this in the last category. Aren't the status effects like system icons in the tray?
Yep.
Like when you're poisoned, there's a little purple icon next to the clock in the tray showing that you're poisoned. Yeah. Like your quest, your quest log is like your email inbox.
Yeah, and they're all like spam emails.
I'm almost going to say that the style is the thing that I feel like that game is the thing that draws me to that
totally.
game.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just used to saying, okay, let's cut the game. I added to the list. So
like style.
You've learned soon. That's very quickly.
That's the thing that makes that game notable.
Yeah, totally.
And they go a long way with it.
So I haven't played Tokyo 42, but I've heard that sometimes when you shoot, it's hard to tell what plane you're shooting on, stuff like that. So sometimes it feels like maybe the style gets in the way of the gameplay.
So it's an isometric game set in an urban environment. So there's a lot of cases where like you're maybe on a rooftop and maybe you're not. And yes, it's not a particularly fun game to play because some of that stuff can be really hard to just line up. Right. And they give you full camera control in a way that felt like they probably needed to do that because it was too hard to tell what was going on otherwise.
Oh, sure.
And I wish that they had maybe nailed the camera angle stuff a little bit better because I think it ultimately would sell the visual style a little bit better too.
I can't remember. Do you turn it in 90-degree increments?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
you
not
can't
free
tweak it
turn. I don't think it is. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I really do like the look of Tokyo 42 a lot. Like it is all style. Ultimately.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it looks really cool.
yeah.
But if the style takes away from the gameplay itself,
I think it's not
that
necessarily that the style takes away from the gameplay all that much.
Sure.
Like it's just the choices they made about the camera angle don't do that game any favors. But the other stuff about like, hey, here's this kind of weird future environment and the way they represent all the individual citizens and pedestrians and stuff like that, I think is a cool look. But I'm maybe not ready to cut it just yet.
yeah, I'm not saying we have to. I'm just curious.
I would. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, that would be my case for that.
I would put Yakuza 0 and Splatoon 2 in that same camp of like, hey, yeah, I like the style of both games a lot, but it's pretty much identical to the stuff that came before it.
I would say that with Splatoon 2, but Yakuza 0's time period stuff, I think,
the 80s stuff.
gives it a different, like they nail that
flavor.
stuff in a way that the other Yakuza games, maybe they nail their time as well. I'm not some expert with every other game, but
it's just that 80s Japan is better.
totally,
Yeah.
like 80s Japan, like that's.
Like
Yes,
Especially,
like 80% of the reason
80s,
why
80s Yakuza Japan.
Yeah.
Like that seedy underbelly, like
Yeah.
wet
You get that feeling that everyone is smoking all the time.
Yes.
Everyone has 9 cigarettes going at the same time.
Like wet pavement, like neon lights, like Shinjuku, the gambling parlor type stuff.
And even some of the just like little goofier touches, like there's a whole subquest in that game where you're helping out this dude who has this bag phone, and it's all about this guy and his gigantic like backpack cell phone that he is super stoked about, and you are helping him recharge and use his bag phone, and it is kind of like little things like that sort of play to the era. I think are pretty great.
There's also a Michael Jackson escort mission.
Yes, I believe Miracle Johnson does appear elsewhere in the series, but
this is like
Miracle
thriller
Johnson
era.
Steven
Miracle
Spielberg
Jackson.
is in it.
Should we just give this to Yakuza right now?
It's very
the Miracle
weird.
Johnson questline is amazing.
Pretty silly.
You become friends with Miracle Johnson. You're like best friends.
I think Splatoon 2 is still a very stylish game, but it is a lot of it is just an escalation of the last game.
Adds a lot more. Like, I'm not necessarily saying it's top 3, but I think it totally adds a lot more. I think the world seems cooler. Like, I feel like the main hub looks cooler. I know it's not a ton of changes. Also, I think that there are big changes to the clothes. Like, you can do more. I think you have different options for like the pants. They're even coming out with more options for like hairstyles. I would say I cared more about my clothes in Splatoon 2. I think I had cooler options, more diverse options.
Splat dualies.
Yeah, the guns are cool.
Very stylish guns.
Yeah, and I think there's also a style and aesthetic to the Salmon Run stuff. It's more of like a grungier kind of like blue collar worker type of look of like a fishery or something. So I think there's a lot more style to Splatoon 2 than Splatoon 1. I'm not necessarily saying it's top 3, but I think there's a lot of cool style there.
They definitely did not mess up the style of the first game at all.
No, totally not.
It's still really good.
Extremely strong. Yeah. I love that world.
I think the Shrouded Isle is something we can cut from here. It's a cool game, and it has a very grim sort of premise, and I think the art it kind of supports that in a neat way. Like, I really like the character portraits in that game, and I love the color scheme of it.
Oh, right. Okay, so
Yeah.
I had to look this up. I forgot all about it. Yeah, totally.
I really like the style of that game.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. My only complaint is sometimes the colors were maybe a little too like bright in a way that was unpleasant to look at for
I
a long
believe
time.
they did add a black and white option
that's
later
good.
on
That's very good.
because some people could not deal with the color schemes.
But I think stylistically, I think it's really rad.
it is really cool.
I forgot the name of it, but yeah, definitely. For sure. Good
I
call
like that
on
game.
that. Yeah.
This might be weird. I've never played the game, but I liked the soundtrack a fair amount.
Oh, really?
I've listened to it a few times.
Yeah, I do remember it being cool. I don't know. Yeah, but I just put that one on because I do think it looks really neat. And there are a lot of cool moments of like when you make the sacrifice. I think that part looks really cool.
It is also a lot of static art, and I think
it's hard to fuck
it's
that
fairly
up,
simple, but the static art is very good in that game.
Yeah, I think it's very evocative of the thing they're going for.
Yeah.
But I think we can let it go.
Benny, I saw you type in Mummy Demastered.
I didn't play it, but like from talking about the look of it and the soundtrack of it, it seemed like people really liked both of those.
Soundtrack
things.
is incredible. I think the look of it is fine, but it's like fairly standard pixel art.
Right.
It looks like that Dark Void 2D
Kinda,
thing.
yeah.
That
Like it's good pixel art. It moves. It moves
So-
well. It's well done.
It's better than functional, but I can't say that it was like super standout.
So I
Yeah,
put it on here with a
totally.
question mark because I
Yeah.
didn't know if it all came together in some amazing.
I mean, no, it's fine. Like the bosses are pretty big. Like it's it's good pixel art, but it's
okay.
the visual part is not quite as impressive as the music to me.
I also not on here is that Guilty Gear game. Is that have
Exerd, it's. I mean,
it would
about it.
similar?
It would win, so we didn't play it.
That's fair.
I feel like those games usually have pretty good style, but
Yeah,
maybe
they
it's too
do.
derivative.
I mean, this is since the only addition to this game, other than like some minor lobby stuff, is like 2 new characters. So I feel not great including it in the category, even though I think it, like Jason would said, if we included it, I would champion that for a winner.
The previous version did get some props from us.
yeah, we
in
gave
that
it best
regard,
looking
right?
game like on the spot.
Yeah.
the year that it came out.
Got that.
Like some of
Got
us
that guy
some of us had not even seen it until it was introduced in the category, and they were just like, "Yep, that wins."
It's still pretty astounding.
Yeah, it still looks great. I've talked about Absolver before. I think it's got great style. I don't know if it's got that style that we need.
Yeah, I mean, I like
anybody else. can
That's
champion it.
just janky enough around the edges in a way that was off-putting. Like it's so close. Like I feel like if it was like a little more cohesive around the edges, you would look at it and go like, "Man, did the RZA make this game?"
Yeah, it does actually come off that way for sure.
But
I'm kind of with you.
it's not. It's
I really like that map that you get to pretty early on. That giant stone slab with the
Yeah.
lights on it representing the bosses. That thing
cool.
is fucking cool, and the characters look cool in that game.
Yeah, there's lots of just good, really strong like scenic moments in there as well.
And the like really quiet sound design.
Yep.
Feels very mystical.
But we can cut it.
Not to keep piling things on this list. Does Nidhogg 2 belong on here?
No,
Just a consideration.
it's a hell of a look.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would make top 3.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel as well.
When you look at like the games we're talking about here, like I do like the way that game looks, and then it is the best title screen in the business.
Yeah, title scream too.
Title scream. They make me scream because of how good it is.
Oh, that game's got some weird shit in it.
Yeah.
The nightclub level.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, I'm going to talk about one that I think is going to make it into the top 3. The menus in Persona 5 are so good that people cosplay them.
Yes, the whole and the menus I think are definitely like the ultimate highlight of that game. Yeah. But like so much of what they do around trying to build the sort of notion of the heist team. The high school heist team, like I think that the stylistic choices they made around that almost all work.
Like all their personas, like Makoto, like we've talked about Makoto's persona before, but even like Futaba's like UFO themed one, all the dungeon themes I think are like truly on point. Yeah, Persona. I've said that my favorite thing about Persona is the music. My second favorite thing is its style. It just really knocks that aesthetic out of the park of like being a degenerate crime child.
Yes. No, and I think it totally hits that stuff. Like, it's definitely not the most technically advanced looking game, but like it is tailor-made for this category, and I think it justifies being on the top 3.
I don't think you will find a lot of argument to keeping a Persona game on for best style.
One more thing I'll say about the menus is the further you get in the item use menu, it is the main character just stepping on you harder and harder the further you get into the menu. Yeah, and it just gets more and more deranged.
The only thing I didn't like about Persona 5 is they changed out Igor's voice. And,
all I can say is they address that.
For that. Oh, really? It's actually a huge reveal.
All right, good.
We might talk around best story about what all that was.
There was a Matterfall. I didn't play much of it. Is that a stylistic game?
It looks sharp, but I don't think it's
and then,
top 3 here.
Again, this is probably something I'll just mention because I didn't play it, but in the advertising, I felt like it was going for style. Lawbreakers?
No.
Okay. Did it miss the style mark?
Yeah,
it's not
generic.
Yeah.
No.
I really like the look of Subsurface Circular. I think it's very cool, but I also think it is very like, here's sort of like a modernist sci-fi kind of minimalist aesthetic.
They pull that look off really well.
I've only ever seen screenshots of it, but I can think in my mind exactly what the screenshots look like because it's
totally.
very, very striking.
And I feel like even the transitions of like getting off and on the train and all this stuff works very well. I don't know if it hangs overall. Like, I don't know if it would be top 3 necessarily, but I do think it's a very cool look.
The look of that game alone makes me want to play it. So
I like it.
There's some really killer ones on this list.
Someone added SteamWorld Dig 2. I don't know. I don't think that's top 3.
Robot voices are so good.
Yeah, the music's good and stuff. Like
really good music and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's just some. All right. I don't know that I like the look of the lead character that much.
No, not so much.
Like she just looks a little.
I like when you go to like the Phantom Zone or whatever, where the like computer world, whatever that place is. I think that's neat.
Brad, tell me about Ruiner.
Do you like Cyberpunk?
Yeah,
I've been known to.
Do you like synthwave?
It looks really cool.
Does it
extremely Cyberpunk? I didn't play past where we got to in the quick look.
I didn't get much past there either.
It's pretty much that.
I also don't think it's a long game. I think I was like halfway or more through it at that point. Yes,
I feel conflicted on this.
Yeah, I do like the look of it, but man, that game is so disappointing.
But I bet you would say that it's largely because the style is so fucking good that you don't think the game is that great. Like, I don't hate the game as much as you do, or I mean, I don't think it's as disappointing. It doesn't play as well as I would like.
That damn game.
I never gotten a good groove with it.
Yeah. It just feels fucking bad.
Yeah,
but they do right by their fucking VCR text stuff.
Yeah, like the main character has this screen, the mask screen.
Yeah,
like he's got a fucking screen on his face that is constantly scrolling like TV commercials or like random text. Like they'll obliquely make him respond to characters talking to him by flashing a message across his face.
Here's a picture of him with a dog face.
Yeah, totally. Like they'll do shit like that in dialogue.
Like it's Watch Dogs 2.
It's a little weirder than that.
It's a higher resolution screen on his face than the one from Watch Dogs 2.
It's not dot matrix emojis.
Really
it's like,
different.
It's actual video.
I feel like we're, for as much as I still. This game should be 1,000% up my alley stylistically.
Yeah.
But I feel like so many things have tried to dip into this type of aesthetic that it's kind of getting overdone. This game, if it had come out like 9 months earlier, I think I would have felt a little differently about it. But it's at some point you're like, yeah, no, I get it. You went and did the synthwave thing for the soundtrack. You made it all very red and grim and dark, and yeah, okay, you did your thing. And
Chinese characters everywhere.
Yeah. And I say that as someone who still likes that shit.
Yeah.
But I think that stuff is kind of played. I think it's been
done
to death.
I mean, that's a pretty strong argument against it.
Done to death. Okay.
Yeah, done to death. It's the new
Done to
game.
death.
Wait, did you say Drawn to Death?
Yeah, I said. Sorry, did I say done to death? I meant to say Drawn to Death. The most stylish game of the year.
Oh yeah, douchebag.
Oh boy.
No, we got him started. Damn it.
Summon something.
I don't even know. I can't even quote that game because I didn't play it for long enough. I just in my head it's just like rock hard dicks, gorilla boner.
No, you're totally not wrong.
Okay.
All right,
Take a shit in your face.
cutting rude.
Ballsmosis.
Do you think Echo could go? I think Echo has a cool look, but I also think it's so samey throughout.
Yeah.
And like it's like, okay, sure.
Whoa,
It doesn't
Echo just went really quickly.
Wow, okay, that's
back.
done.
Okay.
No, cut it again.
No, I think she got it again.
Echo is very stylish for what it does, and I really like the look of it. But maybe doesn't have the variety to stay here. But it is a neat style.
It is a cool style, but I almost feel like it's too much. And
Too much style?
Too much of the same thing. Like every room looks the same, every hallway looks the same.
Yeah, it is very
And it's like
samey.
each asset is just like plugged into a different spot on like a layout. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
we can cut it.
All right.
I love Dream Daddy. I think it looks very good, but I don't think it's top 3 probably.
Yeah, I can't really point. I can kind of approximate its style, but it's less about its style and more about its characters.
It's good art and good like good character design, but I don't. Yeah,
Yes. I don't know if it has style. Though my daddy did.
Stop, all of you. Just stop.
Who's doing this?
Dream to Death.
Yeah,
Drawn to Daddy.
Gladly.
All right,
Gonna date a dad.
Oh, stop.
I'm new to the cul-de-sac.
Observer.
Talk to me about Observer.
Observer.
I booted that guy up last night.
Yeah, what'd you
that was a
think?
fantastic intro. Holy shit. Tell me more about that game and why I should win this category.
Because it probably has the best overall style.
Style is very cool.
I'm trying to think, and I always have problems with this. Like, the sound design is very good. I don't remember all the music in it. So that is a knock against it in my book of not having a memorable soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing they are going for in terms of the cyber, like when you hack into people, and then that kind of how they mix up the rooms in kind of ridiculous ways, is just intense. That game is just dripping with style. Like,
Yeah, and like I also love how the look of some people are where they'll have like robot parts, but they like try to make the
so
skin
gross.
tone match with this like kind of yellowy, but it has like a very clear texture to it. Like it's a very particular style.
It's very gross.
It's
very cool.
like bad cybernetics, but
Yes,
like
yeah, totally.
yeah.
Do they use Rutger Hauer's likeness or just his?
I think
they-
it's
like-
his likeness.
Yeah, you don't really see your character that much. So.
Yeah, he has like an ID badge or something.
But like his face is in like the logo art that uses like the character.
Yeah.
So we're pretty firm in Cuphead being on this list, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so really we're talking about one game here between that and Persona being locks. So at that point, I'm willing to let go of Tokyo 42 because I don't think it's
All right.
the best. I don't know that like I don't know that Night in the Woods
Yeah,
hangs here.
I agree with that.
I think it looks really good. I like the look of it.
I do like the look of it, too.
Taylor Swift stole it. It looked so
Yes,
good.
That's true.
But
well, I
when
think
it
that's
comes
actually
to,
a knock.
when it comes to some of the other ones, yeah, I could see it maybe not being top 3. I think it looks really good though. I like the look of it.
Yeah, it's not just the look. Like it's a lot of little touches, like both in like scenes that happen in that game, like the dream sequences and stuff
totally.
like that.
And even the dialogue, they'll like write it out in a way that's like phonetic and like it sounds like slang.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stylistic touches in that game,
Yeah.
but I agree that it is probably not as strong as some of the other ones on here.
I think we can cut high hell. I do like the look of its weird, like bust up a drug factory, but kind of flat shit, like this real. Yeah, it's a neat look, but not enough. Yeah, the other games on this list do it. Are better
feel like
at style.
I feel like the earlier argument about Splatoon 2 in regards to it's just not
that's
bringing
fair.
enough new. I think what it does new is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's totally
But
fair.
yeah,
I think honestly, if we're coming down to, I can't believe I'm saying that Yakuza 0 isn't in this mix, but I think that maybe it's not, because I think the two strongest ones on here besides Persona 5 and Cuphead are Pyre and Observer.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
I think
Kingsway maybe too, but I think Yakuza has a lot of style
There's
and
a
I
ton
know it's
of
the
it.
category, but I don't think it looks great always. Like it looks
Well, it's
very
not really
gamey.
what it looks
Yeah,
like.
Sure,
It's more
I know,
about
but
it.
like
There's more
there's
attitude. than
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
got the attitude.
But I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of these have a marriage of attitude and also
Yeah.
aesthetics in the way that Yakuza maybe doesn't.
I think there are little touches in that game that sort of transcend that, like, some of the fight animation stuff is
Sure.
incredibly
Oh, yeah,
stylish.
totally.
and it's,
music
it's
changing.
outlandish in a really
Yeah.
amazing way.
That's totally.
That still that doesn't feel out of place. I guess like they have fun with it without you kind of
Outlandishness with which they have fun is the reason I put Super Mario Odyssey on this list.
Yeah, I think
The game's wacky.
it is.
It's fucking weird.
It has a surf rock song in
That
it.
dog is wearing a hat in the shop.
Yeah,
is
there's a
wearing
lot of
hat.
good stuff.
I do like that dog.
There's also some stuff in there that just doesn't really stand out.
yeah.
I mean, I think that game's got style,
It does.
but I don't know if it's got style.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I
I
agree
think it totally
with that.
does.
Yeah, I kind of
But like
agree.
in the same way that's like I would do Yakuza over Mario.
Yep.
I think
Likewise.
like because I think Yakuza is like very dripping with like style in a way that
Yeah.
like Super Mario Odyssey looks cool, has like a neat aesthetic, and like has fun with the characterizations of a lot of stuff. But I don't know if it's the same. It's like Mario doesn't have style.
He definitely doesn't, but it's the weird
Dork.
shit.
Mario's a
Mario's
dork.
Mario's
the
a dork.
opposite of style.
He's a hero.
Bite your tongue.
He has some stylish
Yeah,
outfits
except for
in
the
that
part,
game.
the part where they
Right, you can
Yeah,
pick
and he
outfits
still
and
looks
that's
like a
super
dork
fun,
in them.
But like
I've never seen his back tats, so I'm not sure. But like,
Really cool.
he's got the body of a toddler.
Yes.
oh, actually, no, he does take his shirt off.
His
in that,
cardio
so-
is great. He runs around a lot.
I think the thing that ultimately puts Yakuza 0 off the list is the same argument of it is doing the thing that those games do. It has built a world that is very much in keeping with the style and aesthetics of the previous games. The 80 setting does a lot for it, like a lot. But I do wonder if it. Oh man, I see. I'm looking at Kiri right now,
Yeah,
and
look
you're
at
just
that
like,
suit. Remember that dumb suit he gets? Oh, and he's like in his business retail suit.
It's very good.
It's and the moves are pretty good. I know some of the moves are recycled, but some of those moves are good. When you hold up that briefcase when you go to buy a place and just open up a briefcase full of money,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many good touches in that game.
All the weird music with all the goofy side stories.
Yeah, the style in that game is also very fun. It's like funny and goofy.
Yes.
It doesn't
Yeah.
take itself too seriously, but it still all works.
And it can be super dramatic when it wants to be,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel out of place or like overwrought. Like it's good at doing that, and it's good about moving between those styles. Like God,
that's
even
rad.
those fucking bad guys, those three dudes.
Yeah,
they're
those,
awesome.
those fucking three, like they made me want to play a Yakuza game, which is a feat in
Wait, which-
itself.
oh,
but,
those
also,
guys.
but also those three crime bosses.
Yeah.
Like I saw the first couple hours of the game or whatever.
like fucking Awano's turtleneck,
and
dude.
I was like, I would sit here and watch the rest of this game. Like,
they're
those,
cool as hell.
Those fuckers are serious.
And then there's the breakdance fighting guys, which are pretty dumb.
They're pretty cool.
And then they teach you how to breakdance fight.
There's the pooping statue guy.
Oh, right.
What about
that's
my man,
right.
Mr. Shakedown?
There's Mr. Libido.
Oh,
There's a couple of
Shakedown,
Mr.
yeah.
Shakedowns, a couple of Mr. Libidos.
It's the very Metal Gear thing of balancing the super wacky and the very serious.
Yeah, and they do it extremely well. And I mean, granted, they're like, what, 6 or 7 games deep at this point, so it's not surprising that they would have, become more assured of that stuff over time. But, man, as like an introduction to that series, it is killer.
Yeah, the breakdance fighting's pretty good. The
More I
heat, the
think
heat moves are pretty stylish, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the more I think about Kingsway, the more firmly in its camp I'm slowly slipping back into just like stuff like they commit so hard to the aesthetic and to the bit stuff where like you will buy an extra bag, and what that bag does is it just gives you another window that you can store icons in. Like the quests like roll out on these little scrolls that look great. The you moving little animation looks good where it's just like the meter slowing down and your guy's like little idly bouncing as it goes. And then some of the boss designs, especially as you go and beat the game, look really cool. Like there's some really cool like apocalypse kind of looking stuff in there.
I think we can take Sexy Brutale off of here. I think that game has a cool aesthetic. I think it is neat, it is charming, but I
don't think it's going to beat the.
It's not going to beat any of these other ones.
I think same with Subsurface Circular.
I think these are going to be some hard choices.
Yeah,
like I just really do appreciate what Kingsway is going for in such a novel way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first game to try and evoke that like specific style of Windows gaming, but like the way they go about it is pretty amazing.
I can't think of anything else that's like done it the way they do it.
It's all the little details, really, for me.
And it seems like that is what makes the game good, is the style. In the way that like all of the mechanics kind of revolve around this very specific style, and it seems like for the most part it works. I haven't played it, but from what I've heard of you guys, it seems like that works pretty well.
I also really like the random character creator makes some really goofy looking dudes. That's really well.
Doom guy.
That's just a picture of me, dude.
God, that character looks terrible.
Yeah.
I think the artwork and the music in Pyre are both very good, but I'm not sure like they come together in a way that.
Oh man,
yeah, I don't know.
It's beautiful.
For me,
it is beautiful.
All the like motion graphics in that game are kind of what seal it.
Yeah,
like all the post-match stuff,
and also like that game, that dunk animation is so fucking satisfying.
Yeah, like all the visual effects type stuff.
I don't have a bad thing to say about Pyre, but like when I look at like Observer or Cuphead or even Persona 5, it's just like.
I feel like what we're saying about some of the
other games,
like it's hard to keep Pyre on this list.
Wow.
All right,
I know.
Okay,
like I love Pyre. And I think the artwork is without peer, and I think the music is great. But like there is something like in the style sense for this category that some of these other games just I think like Jason said have a little more edge on it.
That's the thing. Like it's brutal to say it, but I think you're ultimately right. I didn't want to do it, and I wouldn't have done it on my own. But I think the argument you're making is sound enough.
Okay, so
All right, so here's what we have right now. Persona 5, Cuphead, Yakuza 0, Observer, Kingsway.
I feel like it's really down to Yakuza and Kingsway, isn't it?
I don't know, man. Observer's fucking cool.
You have to kill one of your children. Choose.
Observer's really fucking cool.
Observer's got a lot of fucking style.
Yeah.
As someone who played neither, I'm leaning towards Observer over Yakuza.
Yeah. But honestly, like in terms of like a world I want to luxuriate in, like a style I want to luxuriate in, like Yakuza 0 is like almost second to none in that regard.
What I saw of that game made me want to play it. It's because of the attitude that it has.
But like comparing it to Observer, like Observer's style is supposed to be invasive and
and off-putting. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not world you want to live in.
Right, but I think it's still a good style.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard.
This is hard.
Because I think any of them I'd be like, yeah, totally.
Right. Yeah. Any of these would absolutely fit on a list. It's just that they all came out the same year, and fuck.
This is a good year for good-looking games.
Yeah, I feel like Observer is probably the one I would cut out of those three. I don't know where everyone else is at, though.
I think I would maybe agree with that. I think Observer looks really cool. I like the style a lot. I like the aesthetic a lot, but it doesn't bleed into some of the attitude. I mean, it does, though. It does. Yeah,
it really
totally does.
It's like kind of rough and gory, and like it's a world where you're literally taking the like hacking thing out of your arm and plugging it into the back of people's heads. But like I think Kingsway really went for it in a way that is like, how do you make this work? It really just defines that game.
Yeah, like the problems I have with the game is maybe they don't vary up the combat enough. Like, there's some issues with them not clearly addressing that it's a permadeath game. But no problems I have in that game at all are represented in its style. I think that's the one thing it does 100%.
And we're 100% sold on Persona?
I think so.
Persona's my winner on this list.
Yeah, mine too.
I like even the stuff I played of Persona. It's only been like 15 hours or so, but like that game has style. That's like the victory screen and everything.
When you're running and everyone's
it's very good.
I think I would do Kingsway over these other two.
I mean, if I have to choose my children here, I'm going to go Yakuza, but I won't be mad if these other games end up going on there.
I would go with Kingsway.
Kingsway is the only one I've played, but I really liked what I saw of Yakuza.
Yeah, I
wouldn't be bad with any of these.
Yakuza's
These are all very good.
cool.
Yeah.
But it does feel like
Observer's really got that grit, though.
Observer really is. It's just grimy as fuck.
Observer is fantastic, and they nail their aesthetic down. Yakuza has the right attitude for most of the game. There are long stretches of just Yakuza happening between a lot of that stuff. Almost like Wolfenstein-esque, where you're just like, oh, like all these street fights are happening. But then again, you can just throw money on the ground, and which is I think is also very stylish. So like that game just has the right attitude. It knows what it is like, as a crime movie / game, and they nail the hell out of those villains.
Even the fight scenes and everything, the way they're shot.
Yeah,
it's the right level of over the top and violent.
Yeah, cool cinematography definitely fits into a good style.
Cool tattoos.
And the faces.
Yeah.
The hair.
Yeah.
The hair.
Yeah,
The hair.
I'm coming around on Yakuza.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
As much as I like Kingsway, like Yakuza's.
Yakuza's so fucking
Is that like
cool.
Wayne Newton guy?
Yeah,
Just,
that
like,
guy's out with a purple suit.
sucks.
Who's just like dancing, like lures you into the place. Yeah.
I'm sold. That's,
I could do. I think
Three there as
Yakuza
a
would be
top
great.
three.
I think Yakuza has a ton of style.
I think it absolutely belongs as a top 3.
Cool.
I think it would probably get on this list just from that fucking dude. What's the
Mr.
horrible-
Libido?
No, he would take it off this list. No, the guy you fight
That guy's got stopped.
The guy you fight who dies, who's crazy. The guy.
Oh, the red coat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something. And Majima.
But even just like the little parts, like the karaoke fucking videos and like, the
karaoke videos are so fucking good.
they're so good.
So perfect.
They're pretty good.
I know it's not a popular opinion, but Yakuza is like probably my favorite in this category.
I think
I know nobody's going to go for that. I'm just going to put it out there, though.
I think I like Yakuza more than Persona, but I think for me it's Cuphead.
I think
I would
be
think
Cuphead.
I'd lean towards Cuphead.
Head to toe has got it. Music.
Here's the thing. I think Cuphead is the best looking game of the year. I think Persona style kills it. I think Cuphead is.
Persona 5's style is so good, it actively makes problems in that game seem way less like a thing.
Yes.
Like it never, at no point did I feel like I was powering through that game or having, beating my head against it. And part of that was because like I was constantly engaged with the world that they had created and the style they had built around it.
Like, look at this map of the cities. Like, even something as simple as this, that where you're traveling around, like, they make that look fucking cool.
I think you could make that same argument for Cuphead, though. Like, Cuphead is so hard and so challenging. And, like, yeah, it's super fun gameplay, and that's what endears you to it. But also, like, I think the aesthetic does pull you in. Like, you want to keep seeing what's next. You want to see the next boss. And, like, the overworlds look cool, and they're fun to explore. Like, I think the same arguments could be made for Cuphead.
But in Persona 5, one of your friends is a cartoon ninja cat.
Right.
In Cuphead, you're a cup.
Mugman.
And there's a pig with an eye patch.
He's so cool. You can drink from his own head.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I feel like
Mugman's pretty good.
Mugman's pretty good. I guess so. I mean, these two games are neck and neck for me. I think it slightly goes to Persona, and I think one of the more compelling reasons for me personally that I would give it to Persona is this style is. I cannot draw a direct comparison to another thing that it is like.
Like, even in the Persona universe, it feels uniquely tailored for the story that they are telling and the design.
Cuphead has literal, like, physical cartoons you can point to, and the boss from Floral Fury is straight up based on a named cartoon. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying imitation is not inherently a disqualifier. Disqualifier. There we go.
We've been talking for a long time. It's okay.
I mean, I don't know. I think you can make the same argument of like, look at any anime and like look at Persona.
As somebody who watches a lot of anime, I can't compare this to a single
sure.
anime.
And no, I will not look at any anime. Thank you.
I think it is definitely on the back of Persona 4, like the menu design and stuff. I'm not saying it completely rips it off, but like
It is
Like,
an advanced.
we evolved-
they evolved a lot of the stuff they did from
Persona
3
4
and
was
4.
really plain to me.
Oh, you
Like, look-
bite your tongue.
No, it's good, but it's just like
Persona 4 has a good style.
Well,
too.
keep in
Like,
mind
I dig it,
that
but-
was some years ago, and
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you know
That's-
we're in a world where now 5 is influenced by that,
Sure.
and they're taking an even greater departure and going even further in 5 than they do in 4.
Also, stills won't do it justice, man. You got to see all that stuff.
Yeah,
moving.
the way
That's
it
kind of how I
moves
feel about
is-
5 as well.
Oh, totally,
people
yeah.
cosplay the menu. That's how much people like the menus
Yeah.
of the game.
The menus are very
And
good.
it isn't just the menus. Like the menus are the standout, but like there's just so many little like world and design details that sort of like just exude that style in that game.
All their costumes,
Yeah.
we didn't
Persona
even touch
designs,
on
like-
like their masks and stuff are all really fucking cool, and they all really capture like the character's essence in their costume. Like, Ryuji's got the skulls because he's the bad boy. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds.
I mean, it wasn't the choice I would have made for that one, but yes.
Persona, and this was definitely maybe even more true for me, but I wish that the world itself looked more like Persona. Like I wish that was more influential in terms of like, hey, people should dress better
Yes.
or weirder or go out on some limbs day to day. Yeah, I love the way these.
It's just cool as fucking hell.
They all got guns.
and they all have guns.
But like
Very now.
look like the Dice King. Dice King's so cool. I don't know. I
really
think there's
cool.
a lot of style, and even like when you're shooting a Cuphead, you're like snapping. Like I feel like that's very stylish.
That's some
like
good attitude.
yeah. And it's like there are a lot of little details in Cuphead that I think really play into the style.
He does that little dance all the time when he's just
Yeah.
standing still.
A very
And the
stylish
music
dance.
is
Yeah.
good.
If you hold it up, he points his finger up and smiles real big. He's cool.
I think they're both very good candidates, like obviously, but I think it's Cuphead.
I got to lean
Cuphead's so
Cuphead too.
good.
I got to lean Persona.
Yeah, I get it. I just keep going back to the thing where like you can. Cuphead is very good at doing another thing. Persona is very good at creating its own thing and having everything tie into that thing perfectly. But that being said, Cuphead's a very stylish game.
I think Persona 5 stuff, is definitely more unique. But you can see the traces of graphic design from like elements that, they did not cut this whole cloth.
Yeah, no.
But I also think, yes, they have tried to forge their own path where Cuphead has taken a thing that has never been put into a video game before and made it work.
They've like perfectly executed.
Yeah, in a like kind of precision platformer, which is also kind of
Right.
impressive to me.
And I do like the having the parry system be just like everything that's pink, and so it creates this like style, like this where you're in the middle of a boss that's shooting a bunch of projectiles, you can concisely and clearly pick it. Like
If you can see the colors, yeah.
You've unsold me on this game.
granted, yes, but like just that's a good point of how style can incorporate back into gameplay and benefit it there.
Yeah, like I just enjoy that vibe a lot, and like I think the Persona 5 one is definitely very fucking cool. Like it is hey man, we're a bunch of cool cats, but
There's only one cat.
and he's not super cool.
Yeah.
But I think Cuphead is the originators of cool, man. That's they set the scene for what Persona 5 had to build off of.
I don't
They,
think
It's also
Go on.
Persona 5.
I don't think you can say that.
Persona 5 goes back and is like, isn't jazz cool? And like Cuphead's like, hey, we're fucking gonna make up jazz.
It's the personas you aren't playing.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's Cuphead.
It's also like Cuphead will have like modes, like the black and white mode,
Yeah.
and like stuff like that I think.
They double and triple down on that style
In a way
with
that-
in the unlockables in some really cool
Right.
ways.
And it doesn't feel gimmicky. It doesn't feel like a silly throwaway add-on. Like it adds to the game.
That they buried that lo-fi audio mode in there, which is a good strong vote in its favor.
I think for me, I can't deny the style of Persona 5 because
No,
I actually really
absolutely
like
not,
it. But
yeah.
like I think for me, I just enjoy the whole package of Cuphead more. Like I just like the music more, and the
the music in Persona 5. It's so good.
We've already had the music.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's a big factor in this, though. And
yeah. So I think for me, taste wise, I just enjoy the Cuphead music a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
It's something I would play, and I like that animation style more.
Yeah, I think for me, for Cuphead, and like I think you could make a similar argument for Persona depending on your taste. But like every aspect of Cuphead, from the gameplay, which I think is stylish with like the snapping and all that stuff, and just how tight and good it is, to the aesthetics of the game with like the colors, like it looks good. The black and white mode looks cool. And then also the music. Like I think all of those separately work so well, but then to have them all work together so cohesively, I think is just like a total package. And it's
you're fighting the devil. You're trying to get your souls back from the devil.
Yes.
You lost your soul to the devil because you were
like the,
fucking rolling dice.
The dice
in Persona, you fight God.
So you shoot the sin bullet at God.
Yeah, but also Persona,
the devil is cooler than God.
This is a pretty
killing
cool
God is cooler than killing the devil.
That's true.
But
you
like,
want to party with the devil.
Persona was also about like going in and like robbing somebody's like heart.
Yeah, you're basically you're stealing the
Yeah.
worst parts of their soul from them and robbing them of their worst traits. So
Crime
they're
is
forced to
very cool.
And then Cuphead, you got your bounty hunters trying to like go do the devil's work. How cool is that?
not as cool as Persona 5.
Dice are always cool.
Yeah.
Especially when those dice are basically just Cab Calloway, if we're being honest.
Persona's not racist. No, I'm done.
Well, it has some. No, that's
congratulations to Cuphead.
Yeah, let's not forget the weird little bits of homophobia that end up in that game.
Oh yeah.
But that said, I don't know, man. Persona 5 for me was always the thing. This of all categories, this was the thing it was going to win.
Yep.
And for me, it's actually not even that close.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who loves Cuphead, loves Yakuza. Like, those games have incredible style. But
we were pretty hard set on Cuphead being the best looking game. I agree that the style is better in Persona, but I am fine to cede the vote.
If I'm the only one fighting for it, I mean, I've said what I'm going to say about it, but it's incredible.
Like me personally, I would probably go Persona, but the arguments for Cuphead, I think, are very strong.
I thought Vinny was also for Cuphead or Persona.
I'm Cuphead.
Oh, you are?
Cuphead.
Oh.
What are you?
Yakuza.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dan?
I think Yakuza is actually
Cuphead.
the stealth winner here.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I would.
Maybe we should mount an offensive.
I can't. Like,
I mean, if we
fucking
want to
hair,
talk
that
about
guy's
Yakuza,
hair.
you want to talk about Yakuza?
Jason?
I'm laying down with Cuphead. We're gonna hang out.
All right. I think it's Cuphead then.
Yeah.
Look at that guy's hair. All right, fine.
You're all allowed to be wrong.
Mugman is very cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
King Dice.
King Dice is
cool.
the fucking coolest.
All right. We're saying the Cuphead has the best style.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 and Yakuza 0 also very stylish. Okay.
I like all of those.
Yes, I like all of those as well.
Strong year.
Yeah.
Some swag. Swagger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys need a quick break, or can we roll on
I'm good.
I'm
Okay.
to the
good.
next category?
I could be.
All right, we're going to take a fast break.
Okay, fast
We'll be
break.
right back.
Fast break's a good game.